From nowhere, from nowhere, from nowhere, from nowhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Troy Hill Talks, and my name is Troy Hill, and got my co-host here, Sir Sturdy. We're here keeping it real with real talk. How you doing? How you feel this evening, Sir Sturdy?
I'm doing great, man. Long day. Not gonna lie, long day.
Yes,
Lots of films to get through, but I had a great time. And so far so good for tonight, I should say.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, you need to check out this man's channel. Horror with Sir Sturdy. He had an excellent program earlier today. And some great co-hosts as well and stuff. Always a good time. Always a good time. But today we're talking about the Sidney Poitier Bill Cosby movies, and we thought it would just be great to have an additional co-host this evening and stuff to make sure we get this done and have it just perfect all the way across the board with some more expert insight. We got Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs here.
Yes.
So thank you for having me. I love it. And thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on and to call me an expert. I'm not an expert, but I do have a deep admiration for Black films and Black culture and just learning more about it and connecting with it. And like, I love to watch so many great actors like in these movies.
Yes, get so many.
Oh, and it's just so wonderfully done and put together. And like, you know, it was just a real joy to be able to watch all of these and talk about them with you guys. So thank you so much.
Well, glad for you making the time to be here. Well, let's go hop into it. I mean, we got 3 films. We got Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and A Piece of the Action. Uptown Saturday Nights being the first one where we find ourselves with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. They go to this nightclub called Madame Zenobia's, which has to be the coolest, hippest club in the world. I mean, I know I would love to be at this place, Madame Zenobia's, where, you know, there's anything you wish, anything you desire. And then the red door downstairs, she said that's some good damn times down there.
It was.
You know, so push comes to shove, there's like a big heist that happens, and there's a theft that happens, and next day, you know, after the aftermath, he finds out he's won the lottery, but the lottery tickets in the wallet that was stolen the day before at the club. So, gentlemen, let's go with Sir Sturdy first. What was your thoughts of this movie? Because it's your first time seeing it, correct?
Yes. I'm going to tell you, the very first thing was Bill Cosby's hair threw me off. Mostly, I feel like I've seen him with long, like a fro before or whatever.
Yeah.
But the facial hair, I was just like, yo, why? That was wild. But,
you know.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, the grand scheme of things and stuff, actually, I would slit somebody's throat to have that hair right now if it were me. Because I'm telling you, if I grew my hair out right now, I'm Sherman Hemsley, man. I'm looking like George Jefferson and stuff. So I would definitely love to have that hair for real. But,
I get it.
Go ahead.
I get it. But as far as the movie goes, I did have a fun time with it. It was definitely funny. This was definitely a funny movie. And I gotta say it, people. I'm not even sorry for saying it. Yo, all 3 of these movies, Bill Cosby was after some cheeks.
Oh my God, dude! It was very telling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, one specific scene in the last movie, sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But just like I'm just like, there's no hiding it. There was no hiding it.
You're like,
yep.
I see you. You're the ladies, man. I mean, I don't want to. Damn, that was so bad. I meant in the movie.
When I saw it, I was like, huh. Well, you don't say.
Yeah.
But I mean, Uptown Saturday Night. I mean, it's just a wonderful film. You got Harry Belafonte in it. You got Calvin Lockhart. Just a great story, and it just shows. I mean, there's a challenge, obviously, of them trying to get together and get the scheme, try and get this wallet back and everything. But just everything that just leads up to that point, to me, is just great. I mean, to me, it's purely as I've done like a little piece on this on my TikTok page. And, I'm talking about this as being as like excellence in Black cinema, because I really do feel that way, that this captures a piece of time that maybe be forgotten. It's like when I think about, when I watch these movies, I think about how my mom and dad might have been, or how some of my relatives might have been at that time frame, in that piece. So it's always been intriguing to me to watch these movies, and enjoyable all the same. What's your thoughts on just this movie in general, Mick?
Well, it's actually, I'm glad you brought up like the look and the aesthetic feel of this. So I grew up in Jersey City, and they mentioned it in this movie. That they were from Jersey City, and I was like, yeah, I think I said it's sturdy while we were watching it. And it got me thinking. I'm like, let me check and see where they filmed this, because it does look a lot like where I grew up. And this is, of course, the 70s. I was in the 80s, but there was not much change.
Yeah.
But they filmed this in Chicago and Los Angeles in different parts. I might have been drawing my inner when I lived in Los Angeles, like, oh, that looks familiar, sort of thing. But it was just very interesting to watch, like just how they played this all out. And I don't want to compare it to all three, because they're very different characters in all three movies. And
yes,
one, they're such like fun, devoted friends. Like yep. This has the original, like, everybody talks about the town when he's like, we're gonna hurt people, blah 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 blah. He's like, whose car are we taking? This right here is just as good. When he's like,
yes, absolutely.
He's like, I'm your man. And yeah. Like, without, like, there wasn't even a break. Like, it was like, yeah, all right. They had just gotten robbed. This guy could have just walked away, and justifiably as a friend. But he's like, you got to help me. He's like, I'm your man. Let's do it.
Let's get it.
And it was just such like it would. And then they were just devoted the whole time.
Yes.
And it was so to go into that bonkers ending and how they kind of had to play everything against each other. And I want to give special mention to some of the actors that I love in this. And we were talking.
Oh, absolutely.
Flip Wilson. If you've ever get a chance to watch the Flip Wilson show, if you like sketch comedy, things like that, that man was hilarious. It's one of the originals. They used to play it. I was on TV Land. My dad would put on and watch it. And like, and I remember just laughing. Like, he was so funny. So to see him as the Reverend in this was so great. Richard Pryor jumping in as the con man, the con man Private Eye.
It cracks me up when he's like, why us? Why not you?
Some of the trivia I read on this, supposedly Richard Pryor and Red Fox were meant to be the main characters in this. But they didn't feel that they had the star power, so Sidney stepped in, and Bill Cosby came in as well. But Roscoe Lee Brown, who played the congressman?
Yes, he was.
Oh my God, when he panders and he throws everything on and he flips it around. That was on point of like Mel Brooks doing it in Blazing Saddles, where like
absolutely
like just that overly, like, you could see him scheming to do it. It was so well done and fantastic. I really love the twists and turns of this movie.
Yeah, but especially with Roscoe, several Black sitcoms and TV shows in the 70s, early 80s as well. So he was a very, very big deal. He was in the what was it? I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. He had a role in that movie too. So I mean,
he shows up in everything. I was telling you when I were talking about him, and just a prominent character actor.
Yep, absolutely. Nice, strong, impressive voice. He just definitely good. But let's talk about the film balance. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he was in there's not many movies where John Wayne died in them, right? I think he died in 5 or 6 movies in total. And they were always like off screen or something like this. There was the first movie where we see another actor, kill John Wayne on screen, was The Cowboys. And Roscoe Lee Brown played a great role in that as like the chef who goes along with the Cowboys, the herd, the cattle. So if you ever, I just want to say that I was on mind. I was thinking about it. If you ever get a chance.
No, I'm gonna check it out, because I to be honest, I have not seen that many John Wayne movies. Or westerns in general.
This one is John Wayne's in it, and John Wayne's very John Wayne, and it is what it is. And I don't mind that in some of his movies. And I don't mind a lot of his early ones. The John Ford ones were fantastic. It was John Ford. You know, everyone was fantastic in them. But sorry, getting off track. I realize that. But when it comes to the Cowboys, like Bruce Dern is in it. You know, Robert Carradine. Like, there's a lot of younger actors who are in that. It was a little more 70s grit. He was older by that point, and that's why I like kind of saying, you know, you seem to enjoy a lot of the classic film stuff like that, like I do, and I thought that might be one you might like.
No, I'll check it out. Absolutely, I'll add it to my list because that's kind of on the trajectory that I'm on right now with just classic films in general.
I wanted to say one thing I found funny about this film is when they before they go out to the nightclub, how they're going back and forth talking shit. One of them's like, I gotta talk to the wife. He's like, I gotta wait for the wife to fall asleep. He's like, you gotta sneak out. He's like, yeah. He's like, what about you? He's like, hell, talking all this shit. He's like, yeah, I gotta wait for her to go to bed too. After all that, you know, it's so relatable and things like that, where you have that fun where you're not, you know, you talk your shit having fun, but it's like, yeah, I gotta get my permission slip too, so to speak, or whatever, and. Everybody can relate to it. You're just like, oh,
yeah, and it's just perfect. Just even how it begins, because it just demonstrates that Sidney Poitier's character. He's a hardworking man, and just even the dialogue between him and his wife, their love for each other, even just talking about, you know, it's talking about how they met or whatever, how, you know, that she'll always be his queen and he'll always be her king and stuff. I just thought it was like a lot of nice, classy stuff in there. The music's exceptional. Not my favorite out of the whole series and stuff, but I thought the music was very, very good as well. Just overall, a great movie. So what do you rank this movie, Sir Sturdy? 9 out of 10. I mean, 10 out of 10. Sorry.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'll give this one. I'll give it a 7. Give it
a 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Solid 7 is fair. What about you? What about you, Mick?
This one I gave an 8.
Okay. With this one here, I'm going to give a solid 8.5 out of 10. Just in general, just a good story. And if you guys don't have anything to do like over the weekend and you want to just want to sit back and just watch something different, so maybe it's a little bit different, maybe you might not be accustomed to, Uptown Saturday Night is a movie that you most certainly want to check out. But
it just, if I could, with this movie, all of them actually, and I'm not going to rank them until we get to the other ones, but I would say like this one to me was the funniest, and it's sort of an unofficial trilogy. Ghost Dad, notwithstanding, that's their 4th one together, but Sidney Poitier in that one. These 3 movies, like this one made me laugh the most. The next one, like I think I just enjoyed the most, and then the 3rd one made me feel the most. Like I was like, this is like a really good film. So I want to say like these 3 films, and I get it, and then just to address the elephant in the room for anybody who has a Bill Cosby problem, I get that, and that's fine. You can have a problem with the man. These are entities. These are pieces of art, and he was an artist who offered to him, and you know what? I can appreciate the art because it was also a lot of other amazingly talented people who are in this movie, all these movies, and God, it just like I really did have so much fun with this because it is so grounded throughout, but at the same time it ramps things up into just an absurdity that I love on a like a 70s level.
Yes.
With that end at the cookout where all the cars are chasing and going. It was so wild. I just had such a good time with this one.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, and even talking about the cookout, I just love the look and feel of the cookout itself. You know, you got the kids, you got the guy coming out telling the kids it's time to get the baseball game ready and all this other type of stuff. You got the ladies cooking food and stuff. And they got like the pageant. And it's just a really, really cool experience. Again, it's just like one of those things I always think about is like, were my parents like this or my grandparents or anything? But man, let's go on to the next one. Let's Do It Again. And this one, good old Sidney and Bill, they need to raise some money for the church now because the church are going to shut it down. They come up with a scheme to hypnotize this boxer to win this match and win the money, and all of a sudden they get caught, yada yada yada, hijinks ensue. I adore this movie. I love this movie so very much, and this is a movie that me and my mom would watch often growing up my whole life. You're talking from like 6-7-year-old Troy to like 18, 20, 30, even 40-year-old Troy. We might have watched this movie. So it's always been a part of my heart, so to speak, just with the memories and stuff that I have with family members. But what's your thoughts on this movie, Mick?
This is my favorite out of the three. I absolutely had a great time with this one. It's such a good story too, and one of the things I loved about comparing the three, you really have to take Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby because they are the three shared entities throughout this, these three movies, this trilogy, of course. So, following them and seeing the very different type of characters they play all throughout. And I say that because we get what we just got with Uptown Saturday Night and these two blue collar guys who are just trying to live life, right? There's no amazing quality of like that they're searching for like this big thing, like like this big MacGuffin or anything. Like it's just a grounded film. Then you get to this film,
yes,
and you take these two guys who are seemingly these two blue collar guys and similar, and they take it to a whole new level. The hypnosis in this movie, the whole the science of this film is A+ certified absurdism for the scene snobs. I'm going to tell you that right now. Everyone should check this movie out as a movie. It is so. If you like, and I'm sorry, I know I'm over speaking, but
oh, no worries. Go ahead.
If you like the Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor films, the bonkers absurdity of those films, you're gonna love this movie.
It exactly has the same. It has the same type of feel to it. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's just amazing the chemistry between these guys. It really, really is, and how well they work together. And it's like some of my favorite. I mean, I love Jimmy Walker in this movie. I mean, JJ to me in this movie is hilarious. John Amos, it's Kansas City Mac, 100% badass. It's like one of my favorite lines of all time. You got to bring ass to get ass. I mean, I love that. That's all about kicking some ass and putting a boot to ass. That's what it's about. And even Calvin Lockhart. The whole Biggie Smalls thing. That's a big thing. That's where the Notorious B.I.G. got his name from. So there's that.
Biggie Smalls is the name that he had. So this guy's name's not Notorious B.I.G. I just wanted to throw a distinction out for any of my white brethren that are out there watching.
We don't want him. Hey, well, did you know, Francis, that Calvin Lockhart played the Notorious B.I.G. Anyways, no.
And big ups to Denise Nicholas, who was wonderful in this movie. Played Billy's wife, Bill Cosby's wife in that. And I'm sorry, I said Harry Belafonte like the number 2 and sort. Well, the man who gave the eulogy at Dr. King's funeral, Ozzie Davis, is in this movie. One of the most prolific actors in Hollywood, and he's playing this just wild fraternal, like, I don't know, what do you call them, like Godfathers or things like that type of role in this fraternal order.
God,
I loved everything about. I wanted to join that club. I was like, I know I'm not allowed, but this looks like a good time.
well, no, you guys got the water buffaloes and stuff. You guys got the hats are cooler too.
I would never be
the Fred Flintstone Water Buffalo Club.
You know what's funny? You're saying that, Troy. I can see Mick get invited to one of those and just being mad as hell.
Yeah, why am I here? Oh God, we're gonna have to listen to this shit again.
No, but yeah, this
70% of them are gonna think the Earth is flat.
Like he would, as soon as listen, Troy. Here's the thing too. It could be his own family inviting him. He'd be like, "All right, I'll go."
No,
Yo, Mick. We come to ours, but I'm sorry to tell you, it's on the same day as your family's. Like, that's fine.
Dude, I would ask. No, what would happen was they'd want me to go, and I would call you and be like, please, I don't care what you put together. Put something together so I can go there instead.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that.
Impromptu cookouts. I do not want to go.
We'll plan it for 4 years from now where we can fly again. But
oh my God.
Make it 5. Make it 5.5
just to be safe. Because
part of my asinine like brain the other day was like, if I need to fly again, I was like, what, maybe I'll get my pilot's license. And like, I'll just fly. And I was like, hey, the fuck does that mean? It's not, it could be any random plane up there.
Yeah, any random plane. They just, I don't know. They just love it's just a terrifying time for airlines or just wanting to fly.
I can't trust not that I can't trust the pilot. They're doing their best.
And then I gotta go back and watch Eraser all over again to figure out how to rip out a seat and throw it through the plane and just so I can survive at the end and stuff. That's the only solution.
Gotta watch that movie again. I love that movie.
But what's your thoughts of this movie, Sir Sturdy?
I'm with Mick. I think this was my favorite of the 3 as well. I'm just going right to the boxing. It was just ridiculous.
Yes.
Seeing JJ Walker in there. So there's 3 fights. The first one he gets knocked out. The second one he wins, and the third one is a draw. But it was just so ridiculous and hilarious because it worked for the type of movie that it was. But it was so damn unbelievable. I'm like, nobody believes that this dude is the middleweight champion of anything.
Then watching him in the workout sequence where he's jogging, he hops up into the damn tree and he's like pauses.
He's like stands there and then. My favorite part of this movie. So to give a little bit of backstory to anyone who hasn't seen it, so Sidney Poitier's character in this movie knows hypnosis from the army. He was an army medic, whatever. That's how it's explained. So he knows hypnosis. So they keep hypnotizing the guy to think he's the best fighter and he doesn't feel pain. So he does it. He wills it to happen, I guess, or whatever. My favorite part of this movie that had me guttural laughing. First off, when he's like doing the hypnosis while they're running. But then to follow it up with, he's so good, he can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
And
man, he had him hopped up, man.
Oh, that was like you said, when he hit that tree and he just stood there.
And he's like, he does a classic JJ. He's like kind of.
Yep.
But there's so much physicality in this one that there was a great physicality in the first movie as well, and in the second one, but it was different. There's a serious tone, whereas this one, the physicality was more like Three Stooges esque at times. When they're climbing down the.
Oh my God!
When he's like, they just don't even want to deal with the cops, right? They just, and I get it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, we're doing these sheets. They're tying them. We're going down." And then they look outside, and you're like, "They're gonna die." And then when you actually see them climbing down, and it's so far from the end of the rope down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are they gonna get out of this?
God, even Bill Cosby acted as like the hotel detective or whatever.
Yeah,
that was great. All of that was just the chase sequence at the end where they're jumping the rooftops. All of it's great. The music,
and
everything.
The whole time was fantastic.
Yes,
I love good con movies. Like The Sting is a great con movie, like where they really set up like a bad guy and they get over on him. This was a good one. They both were like Uptown Saturday Night was as well, but it wasn't really a con as much as it was a plan to get out of it.
Yes,
this was a con.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely a con.
And I love that about this one, and actually a piece of the action as well.
Yes, and then even going back to John Amos and Calvin Lockhart, their interaction between each other, I thought was excellent in the movie. I mean, I enjoyed Calvin Lockhart and Uptown Saturday Night, but I think he knocked it out of the park, I believe, in this particular movie, because it had the whole aesthetic of like the old school gangster versus the new school gangster, and they were classified as the college kids or whatever. I just thought that's that whole dynamic that they had. I thought was really, really good. Yeah. What do you how do you score this movie, Mick?
This one I would put I'm gonna watch this. This is gonna become like a recurring one for me, I think. And yeah, I think I'm gonna say a 9. I'll give this a 9. This is gonna because I will watch this maybe a few more times.
Yep, very, very good. Very, very good. What about you, Sir Sturdy?
8.5, I'll say.
8.5.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I'm gonna give this one a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 for me, and this is just it's a different 10 out of 10. I mean, because it's the personal aspect of like my mom and just the family, and just so I think that's the reason why. And I just think the overall, I mean, the story, just the whole vibe, even the level of fashion for the time was badass to me. The soundtrack, Curtis Mayfield with the Staple Singers, it doesn't get any better than that. That Funky Love song, that I play that on my DJ sets on TikTok and stuff. That song, they get down on that damn song, dude. And this is like this is a trend, because the Staple Singers started off as like a religious group, and I think this is when they started like transcending more into like the sexual or more adult type of sound and stuff, like in the mid-70s. So it's definitely just, to me, it's just a vibe. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 for this one.
Nice.
Yeah, and it is, and then there's a very definitive, just to add to the musical side with Curtis May, because in these two movies, like, because he also did a piece of the action as well. The music is very distinctive.
Yes,
comparatively, Uptown Saturday Night was great as well, but like it's very distinctive to his style.
Yeah,
and, I love that about
it's
soundtracks.
It's definitely a vibe. And you're right, there is a clear, not saying that Uptown Saturday Night was bad, because it was excellent too, but it's just but Curtis Mayfield, that was a whole other level of just funky and just cool and just style. You can just, those are like one of those like on the Sly Live review. I just did a review on that, and I talk about the concept of visual music, music that you can close your eyes to, and basically your mind is like the canvas. You close your eyes and that music is literally like the paintbrush. It's like painting a whole damn story for you. And that's what Curtis Mayfield does, especially in this movie. So I mean, if you don't see the movie, I highly recommend checking out the soundtrack too, because it is available. It is out there. And actually, I remember my mom had this on vinyl like 10 billion years ago. So I remember that being in the cabinet and stuff. So yeah, absolutely a great soundtrack. But let's hop into a piece of the action.
Remember,
go ahead.
I want to point out a great cameo too that we didn't discuss. George Foreman. Sure.
Yes.
When he takes off his shirt, ready to fight him, and George Foreman takes off his shirt and he's a giant. Yeah, that was a fun one too.
I want to fight right now.
Cool.
Yep. That's a great damn scene as well. But let's go into a piece of the action now. This one's a much different movie. I mean, because in this particular movie, they are actually criminals in this movie.
Yes, they are.
Which is
successful.
It's a very, very successful criminals. They're like the not the Danny Ocean, but maybe like the Billy Ocean before he starts singing songs. I don't know, maybe.
They're so successful in not being captured.
Yeah,
that the cops have to blackmail them to do the right thing.
Yes.
To make change the way of life.
Which is basically the gist of it. They want James Earl Jones' character, the late great James Earl Jones, I might also add. He's a detective in this, and he's basically giving them a deal where either you take care of this after this youth program, or you go to jail. So obviously they're going to take the route that we're going to, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to try to take care of these kids.
I think you're underselling how he did this.
Well, okay.
They had there's a great element to this where like they are blackmailed to help all of 30 kids. They have to help find 30 kids to help find them jobs. Or not just find them jobs, teach them how to go out and get a job.
Get a job, absolutely.
And help them, like, get the leads in such form, which I thought was brilliant how they played this out. But there's also an investigative side to this, where they're trying to figure out who's blackmailing them, because he set up a plan where all they heard was his voice. They never met him in person. He had other people drop stuff off. It was like really intricate James Earl Jones plan.
No, you're right about that. No, actually, absolutely.
I love that element to it. It was a good storytelling element.
Imagine getting that phone call and stuff, and you're like, this guy sounds like Darth Vader. Well, still a little bit too early, but anyway.
He even said it. He's like, sounds like he has a deep ass voice.
No, well, for me though, before I even heard James Earl Jones' voice in this movie, I'm looking down doing something because I was working too. I hear his voice. I look up, like, what the hell? Mufasa?
What, Anakin Skywalker's in this? Anyway.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
But let's get to the one of the, because I mean, yes, it's Bill Cosby, and yes, we know things, but there's one specific scene in this movie when he says he's gonna get it, and it don't make no mind how he gets a little dance sequence in the club and stuff where he's dancing up on the girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of those things that just seems didn't age very well,
Not at all.
and it
Not
just makes you. I mean, and for the dynamic of the movie, it's just a movie happens or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But still, you think he ever look back at that scene at one point and stuff in the future and be like, hey, probably shouldn't have did that. Or I probably shouldn't have said that. Or I probably shouldn't have said that about my spoon and the Joe pudding. And should he said any of that stuff? You think he ever has any regrets on any of those type of roles at that point? Saying things kind of like...
do you think I think he regrets it? No,
well,
I think he denies it. I listen, you got to separate the art from the artist. You have to with every piece of art, even the good one, because it can become toxic if you
absolutely
attribute it to the Taylor Swift stuff and things like that. Like it can get toxic to where the fan base attacks others and stuff. So I say that for both sides. You have to detach. First of all, I can't stand celebrities. I cannot stand celebrities anyway, so I don't give a shit about Bill Cosby. But I really enjoyed his characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heathcliff Huxtable doesn't have to be seen as that. Well, now to reference the scene you're talking about.
Yes.
I think this is a case in times we saw on the Cosby Show, and even on the Bill Cosby Show, which was basically the Cosby Show in the 70s.
Yes.
That just didn't last long.
Which was a very good show too.
Yeah, and he had this hair.
Yep,
so
hair.
That's why it never shocked me, and also he had in I Spy in the beginning he had short hair, but then I think it got a little longer after.
Well, wait, Electric Company, he still had the hair, I believe. He still kind of had the fro. He did the first year
because he was losing it in the 80s. That's why I was receding. But his short hair is really the late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And
then the fro was 70s, but picture pagers. He still kind of had. Still had the fro picture pages.
Still a little bit in the early 80s for sure.
Damn! I wanted that pen so damn bad. That picture pages pen. God,
I know way too much about Bill Cosby's hair evolution. So that's what I'm saying though. I don't care about him, but his characters have left impression on me. Every actor in this have left an impression on me in some way, whether it be in this movie or in other ones they've done. So you got to detach the art from the artist if you're going to enjoy anything.
Definitely.
Yeah, and she made a comment saying, yes, she understands that true, but it does make you look at it. It does make you look at it just a little different though. Just saying, because it kind of hits you off guard the first time you see it. It's like, oh damn.
I think that was a guilty conscience.
I mean, shit. If you guys, since you mentioned the Cosby Show, the barbecue sauce episode.
Yeah.
Kids
That's what I mean. I think there's things he put in his script. Remember, he was on Larry King talking about Spanish Fly. I think it's not even. I think it's a cockiness. It's an arrogance, where maybe you haven't been caught and you've been doing something. And I think you see it a lot. They always talk about it with serial killers, when they're poking at people or stuff.
Yep.
maybe that's another sign of it for people who are like that, you know, like are serial in that way, like to be able to boast about it almost, like, because it does feel like a power, like that's what that is, that crime is. It's a power move. So
it is
you're gonna want to brag about it if you're a fucking monster, you know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. I agree. But outside of that scene in itself and stuff, and we'll let that go.
Yeah, because it is a very good movie.
Oh,
the movie is very, very
that is
good.
an odd scene, if anything. Like I almost would wish to be like, Mr. Poitier, why did you put that in there? Because like it's just an odd scene comparatively to the rest of the tone of the film.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because it really did. It could have been a club scene, but it didn't need to be that type of club scene because that was just kind of weird. And
it didn't further the story in any way. It was just
absolutely it didn't. It just showed.
It was him connecting with a woman we don't really see him connect with ever again.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was just to show that he's successful, he's a playboy, and he's out there. They could have did that in many other different ways and stuff. Probably still.
Yeah, but you definitely didn't need to bring up that word over and over.
No, but you know the ironic thing about this movie. This is the only movie. Well, I don't know if it's ironic. I think this is the only movie that it hasn't made me recently since I've seen it, but definitely the first couple of times I've seen it, there's some tear-jerking scenes in this movie.
Yeah,
you know, because like the kids is just like you feel help. I mean, it's like you just like look at these kids; they feel like helpless or whatever, you know, because they want to do right, and it just you know, and sometimes it gets to that point where our society in general, and it goes all the way across the board, is that we have. I see youth that sometimes it's easier to just act like you're stupid and you don't give a damn versus trying to learn. You know what I mean? Or trying to it's like the cop out almost, you know, and some of your friends will even intentionally will put you on this path. Well, they're not your friends. I mean, some of your friends and stuff, you know, if you're a young adult listening, some of your friends and stuff are just around there just to enjoy the times you go through misery. That's the only reason they're there. Because when you have a lot of good things happening in your life, they're going to end up disappearing.
And just so for anybody out there who does feel like that, that's a trauma response. That is your response to trauma. And one thing I would say is like definitely learn coping skills and definitely and try and any way you can look it up and find somebody to talk to, but build your self-confidence for sure.
Absolutely. Wow, absolutely. Because I mean, even there's grown adults that do stuff like this and stuff now too. Even, I feel like if I'm saying something and I'm incorrect and stuff, and if you correct me, that's fine, you know, and that's fine. I'm gonna live with that. I'll be like, you know what, I was wrong, and I'll correct me, you know, and that's cool. I'm thinking you're give me a solid, help me out. But other people that think the wrong way or like a coping mechanism, they'll double down on what's incorrect. You know, that's the way they're gonna roll because they feel insulted because they were corrected. Or whatever, you know. So it's kind of like a weird dynamic how all that works. You know what I mean? You know, it's just really, really weird. You know, but back to the movie again. I just love this movie just for this thing. The little fight sequence even with Bill Cosby, which is 100% ridiculous. But
God, that was hilarious. Flipping off the wall.
I thought that.
Oh my God! How did we not mention their suits? And let's do it again.
Oh, the suits are dope.
Oh my God! With the glasses
and the shorts and the one sock pulled up higher than the other.
How do we not mention when he drops the gun down into his shorts and he's like talking to himself and wiggling it out of his pants? And
you're right.
Well, how do we not talk about the business card that he carries with him and stuff from Uptown Saturday Night? If he ever has a fit or whatever to call a cab and send his ass home, how do we forget that? I'm Big Percy, and I'm Little Steve-O.
There's so much physicality and brilliant. And this one is still the same. Like, I do like that they were, you know, because there's that element of like the mob boss that they both stole from.
Yes.
Simultaneously in the best of ways. But yeah, I like just the fact that like you add the element, like I almost want to go on. Oh my God, those suits, man. Oh, and even like Cosby making fun of him because he has the cape and the way he sits like Dracula.
Yes.
Cosby takes his jacket and like does a little like, you know. I will say this about a piece of the action. Like, first of all, no beard. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was just very different. It was very sentimental at
Very
times,
good point.
heartwarming. First off, Cheryl Lee Ralph, who played Barbara in the movie, who just tears into the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
That monologue, like, I mean, she's been in everything. She's on Abbott Elementary right now, and she's fantastic on it. So, but like, she was so young in that, and to have such a young actor deliver a monologue like that,
it was so damn amazing.
But I don't. But even on like just, and I'm only talking about it from like, you know, days of acting and like acting classes, and that's really what. And I'm not teaching. I'm talking about being in one. Like, when you're that young and you have to deliver a monologue in an acting class, like, it's important, and you're. It's hard. It is hard to do and emote and do everything you have to. So for her to do it in a movie where you have the powerhouse actors that you do and to hold it up, that's a testament to why she's still brilliant and still around. And you know, relevant. Not I shouldn't say around, but like a relevant actor that we see on TV and in movies. But that was just such an amazingly powerful scene that needs to be talked about, in my opinion, because like her teardown of the teacher, and just like you're feeling two emotions, because you're like, you're not mad at her, you get why she's doing it, but also you feel so heartbroken for the teacher who's just trying to be there for them.
Yes.
Oh
yeah, and like, you're right. It's like two different spectrums. It's like two levels of emotion where you feel compassion going across the board. Is like it's just sad, you know.
Now, I would like to point out even further, and I realize I'm sorry if I'm overspeaking, but just from a directing standpoint, the man who directed that amazingly powerful scene still had to deliver a powerful performance, not saying anything. He was silent the whole time while this was happening, the scene, but like emoting him beautifully, like he was just such an amazing actor. But to have to direct that, that's a testament to how amazing of a director he is. And we got to give Sidney Poitier, like we give Robert Redford a lot of credit for being an actor and a director, and we should, and so many others. But I never really hear Sidney Poitier appreciate as a director, and he really needs to be.
No, see, that's going to be one of my on my channel. I want to try and bridge the gap and stuff for, you know, people like Sidney Poitier. I want to talk about Sidney Poitier and his films. I want to talk more about James Earl Jones and his films and stuff. So that's kind of the direction. Of course, I'm going to still talk about new movies and all that type of stuff that still comes out, because, you know, new movies are new movies and stuff. But I'm really enjoying just taking this deep dive into cinema, because I mean, it's like I've seen a lot of these movies before, but I just never really talked about them, you know, not in this type of format or anything before. So it's definitely something that I'm really, really looking forward to. What was Ann's last comment?
Kind of heartbroken for both the teacher and the student.
Yes.
These type of stories, though, I do enjoy watching them when I feel like they're told well, or at least to my liking, so to speak.
Yes.
And this one, like, first time watch, but it's one that you get like different setting, different scenario, different story, but still like underprivileged kids in bad areas, but like a Dangerous Minds feel, or I can't think of this, or the school. What was the one movie where George Lopez? Yeah, George Lopez was a teacher, like that science school or something, that tech school. I watched that recently. But anyways, you get
Stand and Deliver.
I don't remember what it's called.
Wait, say it again. Who?
Was it George Lopez? No, it may not have been George Lopez.
No, it wasn't. I think
George Lopez on the George Lopez show worked in a factory.
No. He was in this. It was a movie. He was a teacher. If it was George Lopez. Anyway,
I think you're talking about Stand and Deliver. That's what I think you're talking about. And it wasn't George Lopez.
That was Edward James Olmos.
Yeah, I think that's who I think that's the movie you're talking about. But then again, I might be wrong.
Oh, can I also? Right. Ernest Lee Thomas is in this, from what's happening. We were talking.
Yes.
So it was cool to see him, which later, like I think we were talking about off the air, like went on to be a Malcolm X and things like that. So like, even more like connected like to this movies and these people who are making this movie.
And just a connection, Joe, because there's like several of the kids there also had guest roles in Good Times. One of the kids, I forgot his name, but he was like one of JJ's friends in a few episodes or whatever. So all these kids have had like roles throughout all this. So
nice.
It's not kind of like a one and done thing. I mean, yeah, they didn't expand maybe off into more film, but they definitely had roles in sitcoms and stuff in the mid 70s, early 80s. But let's do a quick ranking on this. How do you rate this movie, Mick?
I give it an 8.
Okay, very, very good. What about you, Sir Sturdy?
I'm actually with you, Mick. I was gonna say this movie, I feel like out of the 3 was the best one, but my favorite watch was Let's Do It Again, because that was just fun as hell all the way through from beginning to end. But I feel like this was the best movie overall, and probably the most important just because of the story that it told. And like Ann was saying, like we all understand this, we all feel this, and we still connect with it because it's still going on everywhere as far as the underprivileged youth, wherever it is, no matter what color the kid is, but as far as underprivileged with the education, with the finances and all that other stuff. And it's,
Oh no,
so
listen, it was Black communities that were suffering through this. And
no, I know.
No, but I don't want to say no matter what color, but like this was like, this is something that, why I think it's more, so many people that look like me right now are trying to take away Black voices. So I want to make sure, like, I
get that.
Don't worry about me.
I get that. My whole thing is I don't want to just because of those few stupid loudmouths that can, I'm not going to say it, but I don't want to take away the hurt or the pain or the struggle that anybody else, just because you're white doesn't mean you didn't struggle. Like, I don't want to take that away from white people that did struggle.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's
people that I grew up with.
There's segments of every group, that had their version of struggling.
Something tells me you didn't grow up by some people. Something tells me you didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth, Mick.
What didn't you grow up in a Ricky Schroeder castle and stuff?
I remember watching that. I'm like, he's got a fucking train that can go into all these rooms. Like, I don't have that.
And I had an African American friend that could break dance and dance like Michael Jackson. Anyway, didn't you have that?
Oh shit!
But my score of the movie is I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Also, I don't think it's the best one. It teeters between. It's a frame of mind for me. I clearly think Let's Do It Again is the best one. It depends on what my frame of mind is and stuff. If I think Saturday or Uptown Saturday Night or a Piece of the Action is better. I mean, because I could tell you one's better today. You ask me 6 months from now, I can sit there and say I might like the other one better. So it's kind of really weird for me with that particular movie. So I would explain the 8 and the 8.5 and stuff for both of them. But let's go ahead. Well, I guess we can kind of like rate the movies real quick, correct? So, Mick, I believe
the movie I was talking about is called Spare Parts.
Oh,
never heard of it. I'm gonna have to check it out now. I'm gonna put that on the list. My Chris Jericho list.
Chris Jericho.
You're on the list.
Yes, it's a wrestler thing. You're on the list.
Oh, okay.
But
watched a movie with Chris Jericho in it last week. I don't ever want to see that again.
That we ain't talking about that. But
you stupid idiot, you're on the list.
But I'm assuming everybody. Well, Mick, you were Let's Do It Again, Piece of the Action, Uptown Saturday Night.
Yeah, I think that would probably be my ranking for him. Like, again, I enjoy all of them for different reasons.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely going to rewatch all of these at some point. In fact, I think my review for a Piece of the Action is it's basically To Sir with Love without all the annoying white kids.
See what I mean? This is why Mick comes to the cookouts.
See, that's the reason. Yeah, you're absolutely allowed and stuff.
As a
matter of fact, you can get seconds. We might let you strum the bass guitar a little bit, not too much. Not too much.
Mick's gonna be. I know you guys see the Family episode where Peter's holding up the card, the person's too dark. He's like, nope. But it'll be the other way around for Mick. He's like, get out of here, white bread. Like,
yeah, I was on that litmus paper, just touch it real quick and see what the color. Okay, you're good enough. All right, come on in. Anyways,
my first order of business, if I walked in with Sturdy to the cookout, would be like, "Hey, you guys know any Beach Boys?"
Oh shit!
And immediately ruin it for Sturdy.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the Beach Boys to perform for the Super Bowl, so I can sit up there and go to my Facebook and say that I did not like this halftime show. Anyways,
I mean, we've had that for a lot of halftime shows.
I know that, and I've never took the time to be like, damn it, I did not like this. Who wasted energy just to say they just didn't like something? I mean. Shit, the John Deere picture you post next to your profile picture gave that away. I already knew.
I would just go to the bathroom, get something to eat, do something else, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's always this thing. It's a magical thing. You just don't have to watch it. We already know you're not going to like it. Why even? I mean, I don't watch things I know I'm not going to like. You know, it's just like maybe I'm just not going to watch it. But anyway,
exactly.
Now, my movie. Who's the? I think he's talking about me. Am I not like him? I don't understand. Oh
man,
I don't know what's happening. He said Drake's name. Is it him?
Oh man,
who's to us?
Oh, man. And then you're getting the wrong Drake. You're getting like that Disney Drake and whatever.
Drake Bell.
Drake a job. You're getting that. What the hell did he have to do with this?
You know what's crazy? Never mind. I'm not gonna say. All I'm gonna say is that say Drake. I hear you like him. I think that line really does fit for Drake Bell, bro.
It just might.
It's funny, but I believe he got into some trouble.
Drake Bell was young.
No, but I believe he got into trouble with that. That's why he moved to Mexico.
No. That I promise you, it all came out.
That's that 70s show guy, isn't it?
He wasn't involved with her. It was like a stalking sort of. It may not have been stalking, but it was like a situation where like it was severely looking. They were trying to make him look like that's what was going on,
gotcha.
And it wasn't. Okay. Yeah, no. Because remember he was a part of that whole.
Oh no, the Nickelodeon doc thing. I know.
Yeah, and that story came out too. He went and did interviews and stuff, and they talked about like those because that as soon as he did that and came out, that people were like, "Well, didn't you get in trouble?" And then the facts really started getting shown. Like, no, that's not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will defend Drake Bell, not Drake.
Okay.
Although I do love you, Canada.
Same here.
I still like. I mean, I still hope Team USA wins, but I still love you, Canada.
I'm just thinking about so many different things to say, but
I mean, they're not him. he's not like them with their hockey sticks.
Are they? Hosers.
Oh my god!
That?
We need a white guy to come out with a parody rap song. A Weird Al, not like them.
Well, for our Canadians and stuff, our Canadian friends and stuff, we don't mean no harm. Mick's gonna be joining us again. Mick's gonna be joining us again in about a month. We're gonna do a review of Strange Brew and stuff, and to make sure that we're all the way across the board and stuff there.
Canadian bacon. Great.
And
we're gonna bring him back for Roots as well.
That SCTV was no. We're not gonna bring Mick over for Roots. We don't want him apologize. We don't want him for our apologizing.
Mike Myers, Dana
like no, we don't want him going. We don't want him going outside beating up random white people. Racist son of a bitch.
That could happen.
I like Canada more than some states.
No, when I lived in Michigan, I used to go to Canada quite often and stuff. And Canada was a bit of fun, I will say.
I had a hard time in Montreal.
But let's do a little around the reels. Just some random questions about entertainment news going on across the country here right now. First question: are we good to do a little bit of overtime? I mean, we're running probably like about 10 minutes over. It looks like. Are you guys good for an extra 10 minutes?
I'm all right.
Okay. All right. Okay. First question. Amazon will officially gain creative control over the James Bond franchise and a new vent a new joint venture deal. I know you guys over there on Popcorn and Pints. You guys are reviewing all the James Bond movies, so I'd love to get your opinions on this. And you guys need to check them out as well, as they cover. They're going through each and every James Bond movie, and it's some glorious stuff. But let's get your opinion, Mick. What do you think about that?
I'm not a fan of billionaires right now. I mean, I don't have any vendettas or anything, but like I'm just not a fan.
Yes,
especially the media billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not especially them right now, but like, you know, the media billionaires do piss me off because if it's not fake news, it's poor bullshit. And let's be real. Let's look at what Disney has done, and to transport back to, like, what was it, 2008, 2009 when they purchased Marvel, which was like their first real big acquisition. Now I know Pixar, I know the history of all that, but I'm talking about in recent years where they really hyper drove speed, kind of a pun, hyper drived it up to 11, because they have turned franchises into just this bankable winning thing with Marvel, with Star Wars, with this. And even if they suck, they know people will come and see them. And that was the case for a while until Rise of Skywalker. And I think everybody's like, yeah, we're done. You know, we don't believe you anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, and then with Disney Plus and all the mishaps and all the bullshit that they did there, it's been one miss after the other. And we've seen others follow suit in trying to get into this franchise movement. And Zack Snyder, like, and again, you can like the movies individually, but as a franchise, it was an abysmal failure.
Yes, absolutely.
It was not a winning franchise. And you can tell me, like, but individual movies alone, they weren't well connected. They weren't well put together. There's too much meddling, and you're fucking crazy if you think there wasn't. And but then you see Sony with Spider-Man trying to capitalize on that, and we're just getting shitty Spider-Man movie after shitty Spider. Like, those Venom movies were the best thing about it, and they're not good. And I don't understand why people, like, sometimes defend it. Like, they're good enough to enjoy. It's the same mindless fun. Those three, not everything, just those three. It's the same mindless fun I get out of watching Hobbs and Shaw, which is fine. And, and you can do that, and that's okay, and I'm down with it. But you
forget about them, Matt. By the time you get home after a car ride from the movie theater, you forgot about the movie, and it doesn't stick with you.
And now Amazon has been doing well with their franchises in TV form.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to kill me. James Bond is going to be completely and utterly unrecognizable now that they have creative control, because they're going to milk it for and there is a finesse to James Bond. There's a reason there's 25 movies and, like, no real TV shows. Yes, there's offshoots because they're based on the books. They're not based on, like, this Eon and Broccoli productions. But and Saltzman, I don't want to take Saltzman out of it. But now, because that family held true, they were like that was their entity. James Bond was their franchise. And now that it's in the hands of, like, this billionaire conglomerate, of course, it's going to either go in horrible directions where it's going to be picked apart, and Moneypenny's going to get her own TV show, and, you know, it's going to be young Moneypenny, and then you're going to have, they're going to steal that one, and you're going to have a James Bond TV show where probably going to be American now, or it's going to be overly dark, like they're not going to get the idea, like he's going to be fucking everything in sight, and, like,
and then
not the idea of, like, what it was, and, like,
it could be a female Bond thrown in there somewhere. Too.
Not that it has to be silly, but, like, you know, like Daniel Craig, like, I have a theory, but Daniel Craig played the dark Bond really well, but so did Timothy Dalton, and you can do that and not even have the sex in it. Like, Timothy Dalton proved you don't even have to have the sex in it for it to be good. You know, so, like, it helps. Pierce Brosnan showed that, but Again, it's all part of a theory I'm working, but you can go read it on my Substack. But no, but my point here is like they're taking it, and I know it's going to be just torn apart and ripped asunder, and it's just going to break my heart now that I have seen every James Bond movie because we're watching them on Popcorn and Pints. Now I've seen all the offshoots now. I watched James Bond Jr. when I was a kid, but so I can count that as having watched it, but I can't find it right now. But I now watched. I have to continue on with Die Another Day and then the 5 Craig movies, but I have seen now in my life every James Bond movie, and I have found, like I did last year watching every Godzilla film, I have found an appreciation for this franchise and the close wonderfulness that it's holding to. Now, I wish they would keep doing the James Bonds the way I thought they would. It's going to break my heart, but they're not going to. They're going to bastardize this franchise, and it's going to be torn asunder. And I'm kind of heartbroken right now over it. Ever since I heard this news today, and then just finishing The World Is Not Enough, which is not a great one, but it is fun. It's just this kind of breaks my heart that it's such a wonderful franchise that honestly I think might be the best franchise coming out of Britain.
Bond
is now going to be torn apart. I wish if they were going to do this, which I know they couldn't because they had a distribution deal with Amazon anyway, but I wish they had partnered with somebody in Britain rather than do this.
Mm-hmm. Does your opinion change if once they determine who, well, this first series of James Bond stuff, when they determine who the next James Bond will be, will that skew your opinion? Say if you get it was like the actor that you want or whatever, and they generate 3 good movies and stuff, and excluding all the other side stuff they might possibly do. I mean, will that make it better for you, or are you just looking at it more like a franchise as a whole that they're getting ready to? They're going to try and turn this thing into a damn cash cow and try and get drain as much money from the thing as they can.
That's what I feel they're going to do with it, and kind of like Mick was saying earlier with the Marvel effect, where they're just going to water it down and overdo it. I think that's what my I have Marvel fatigue. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Yeah.
And I only went up to Endgame, and I did that like after the movies were already out. I wasn't one of those that went to the theaters. I did it on on our friend's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And like after watching all those, I'm like, I had a good time, but I'm like, all these every single one that came out after that, it's hard to just go and watch them because I just don't care because there's just so many and so much of it, and I'm glad that they happened for that. But I feel like after Endgame, they should have gave it a break, maybe 3-4 years, gave it a break, made you hungry for it, and then really dug deep into these stories again. Then because after they rushed them out, even through Endgame, all the movies weren't that great. I think the franchise that was awesome, but like all of them weren't that great. And then it's like you see where they're kind of watering some stuff down because they're just trying to get it there. And now it's just, and I feel they're probably gonna do the same with Bond.
I think with Marvel, the bar is so high when you have Thor Ragnarok, and then you got that one shot leading into Infinity War, and then you got Endgame. The bar is so damn high. How do you get to that? I mean, how do you even get close? You're talking about 3 movies, the way they all broke down. They're like,
I
perfect.
Think Thor,
you know what I mean?
I think the Captain America through line is the best through line. I think it has
You do? Okay.
I personally think it has the most change for any characters, and Sturdy can attest to this. Like Sam Wilson's character in this, like now at being Captain America, he has shown the most growth to earn the shield. And I think where a lot of people are like, oh, now, and this is going to play back into the James Bond and my point, where a lot of people are saying, oh, he's black and that's why that's what they're trying to put out now. I'm like, you fucking idiots. Watch every fucking movie he's in. He's earned his spot.
Yeah, or read a comic book.
This is the only thing. I guess maybe because wasn't Disney, it was more Kevin Feige who and the Russo brothers who wanted to plan this out throughout. Was Sam eventually getting the shield? Like that was what it was supposed to be. So the dude worked and trained and did it and got it. And so like, and to compare that to like what they've done with Doctor Who, and what they've done with well, and I think they'll do with James Bond. Like, so Doctor Who has predominantly always been played by white men. And then they brought in Jodie Whittaker to play the 13th Doctor, you know, being a woman. They introduced another version of the Doctor. I don't know what number she is, but she's a black woman. And they introduced Ncuti Gatwa, who is the new Doctor, and he's black. Any Doctor Who fan has no problem with what face they have.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. The writing has been god awful. And I think that's where like that franchise that suffers. So like one earned it, the next one, it's not the actors, but that's ones who are catching the most shit, even though it's the actual writing. Now, James Bond has been a big controversial talk about should we have a black James Bond. Now, again, to kind of pitch my theory on this is I think everyone from Connery to Brosnan is the same James Bond. The real actual, his name is James Bond and he is 007. And then my fan theory or whatever you want to call it, and I have evidence, is once Daniel Craig takes it up, the connection is M, because I think M is just as an insignia you get or a code name you get when you become the head of the 00 program. So there's a lot more to it. You can go read on that on my Substack and such as well. But it gets really in depth there. But ultimately, I think Daniel Craig, because M respected James Bond, all of them, but especially Judi Dench, came to find respect in the Pierce Brosnan James Bond. She created for the next 007 to take the role to be called James Bond. And she picked somebody she felt was like him. You know, and that's why he was always a little bit different. Now, why is that important to what I'm about to say here? Can James Bond be black? Yes, because now 007 has already been black if you watch No Time to Die. You know, Nomi played her. So Nomi was the character in the movie. And it was a woman. So anybody can be 007. If you want to continue the James Bond thing like off of Daniel Craig and continue with the name, sure. I always thought that would be fine. But now they're going to do it as sort of a statement or something.
Yes.
And that's where I think it's just going to lose the signal, if so to speak, in a weird way. Who's your
favorite James Bond
right now? I love Craig, but after watching all of them, I might say, just for the sake of so much enjoyment in them, Roger Moore.
See,
I just had a lot of fun with his movies. They were sometimes like more suspenseful and darker, and then there were sometimes like, what the fuck is Christopher Walken doing there? You know, like sort of situation. And don't sleep on Timothy Dalton's. They're darker, they're odd, and they're weirder. And in my theory, I go into that too, and like what makes him the same person throughout, because there is a through line and there's more to it. But anyway, I don't sleep on those. Every Bond has been great.
See, I would have thought Timothy Dalton for you, just because I'm probably like probably up to 10 years, anywhere between, maybe like 6 to maybe 10 years older. So I thought that since you would be the following generation, you would be Timothy Dalton, because Roger Moore is my guy. So that's who I grew up with. And I've always looked at it as that as like a generational decade type of almost thing. So whoever was Bond during that time when you were growing up, is that typically will probably be your favorite Bond. Like people are like a little bit older than me. They prefer Sean Connery, So I would assume that Sturdy would like Pierce Brosnan or Daniel Craig more so than the others. because he's a little bit younger.
You're not taking into account a couple of variables in this. You have a really good theory here, and stick with it, but you have to continue with some variables. One, have we seen any of the franchise during our childhood? So, like, if Pierce Brosnan I was in high school when Pierce Brosnan took over. Well, 95, I was in, like, I guess, was the second school, junior high?
Yes.
I couldn't remember. When that came out, I didn't see GoldenEye. I played the game. I didn't see GoldenEye. So, like, this was my first watch ever of that. I did see Tomorrow Never Dies because I liked Michelle Yeoh from the Super Cop series. But,
God, Super Cop's so damn badass. We need ourselves a Super Cop.
Yeah, so like for me, here's the weird part though. I think in this you have to take into account the TV era. How many people, because I was too young in the 80s to go to the theater, so I watched a lot of my movies on VHS or when I could, or just reruns on TV anywhere I could. And here's the funny part. I had never seen the Timothy Dalton movies. I knew he was one, and I remember the commercials for him in 87 and 89, but I had never seen him. But I was watching some of the Roger Moore ones, and I distinctly remember seeing scenes and being able. There was one I was watching. I can't remember which one it was now because he was in so fucking many. But I was actually like, my wife is sitting there watching it with me, and I had told her, no, I'd never seen this one, so I'm trying to pay attention. And I'm telling her what's going to happen next because I just remembered it from some recall of being a child and watching it on TV.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so wild. So like, I think that's why like Live and Let Die right now is probably my favorite, if not Casino Royale.
Yeah. See, to me is easily Live and Let Die because that was probably the one for me. It was the most accessible. I know I've seen that one more so, not even just because it was always on TV. When I was growing up, it was always on damn TV. It seemed like it would never fail. It could be a James Bond marathon that's playing, but when I'm turning the TV on, Live and Let Die is on. And it's always that's the one I would always catch, no matter what. What about you? What is your favorite one, Sir Sturdy?
See, for me, I haven't watched. My first introduction to Bond was GoldenEye, and I'm talking about the game, not the movie. GoldenEye and James Bond Jr., the animated series. So as far as like watching the movies and stuff, I'll say I don't really have a favorite right now because I've only seen Connery and I forgot the gentleman's name who did the one-off, but I didn't like him as Bond at all. I thought he was terrible.
Oh, Lazenby or whatever his name. Yeah, Lazenby. Yeah.
I didn't like him. So if you're going to, for those two, I'll say Connery, but I don't think it's going to be him throughout the whole franchise of it. But we come back around to it, like, because we are trying to figure that out by the time we're done with all of them.
I don't know. I think, well, me personally, I mean, well, this will be the last thing I got and stuff for this evening. And by the way, you guys are amazing. You guys are just dope. And you guys should be told that on a regular basis. I mean, you're not told that enough and stuff. Call me so I can tell you that you're dope and stuff, and I'll just hang up. I'll say, you're dope, and hang up the phone. But anyway.
Wait, actually, can I point out for something with Live and Let Die? If you like these movies, I think you will really like Live and Let Die.
Absolutely. It's the same. That's what I was getting ready to say. It's the same type of, it has the same type of vibe. The same type of vibe.
A little more serious, but yeah. I mean,
and matter of fact, the Fish and Chips Freddy from Let's Do It Again, he's also in Live and Let Die.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yep.
Oh my God, man. Like, yeah, I think it's sturdy. And it takes place in Louisiana. Like, let's do it again.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Well, it jumps around to a few different points, but Louisiana is a big point in it. I'm excited, man. Like, you get to relive this journey. I just finished them all.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Live and Let Die. Yeah, it has that same type of quality where.
And Paul McCartney sings the song.
God, that song is so damn bad.
We're gonna have you on that weekend when we do whatever's with Live. It'll be Live and Let Die, and I don't know what's.
That's this weekend.
It is this weekend.
We're doing Diamonds Are Forever and Live and Let Die.
I'm gonna figure out a way to be on and stuff. I just need to make sure I might be able to be on for a few moments and stuff to say, hey, I could be like guest correspondent for Live and Let Die. Because you could. I'm gonna develop a theory that Live and Let Die and Let's Do It Again all happened at the same damn time. That's gonna be my theory.
That is well, no, it's not possible. It's not possible.
Why? Well, what year?
Because if I learned anything from Live and Let Die, is that the Black Syndicate underground network is completely and 100% connected. So there would be no con happening. There would be no boxing match that weekend. Everybody would be in formation, ready to get James Bond.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like everything came out.
Yeah, Kansas City Mac and Biggie Smalls wouldn't give a shit. And
they had a scene where basically they turn around and like every black person on the street just turned and looked.
Yes, that is
true. Just like it was like one of those. Like it's a really well done film, and that's why I think it's at the top for me. I would like to urge Sturdy, if you are going to watch them tomorrow, read my theory after you watch both of those movies.
Hey, you know what? Proper editing and stuff, when they all turn around, you just have them just like throw in like a TV screen closer to television, a Bootsy and Farnsworth, 40th Street, 40th Street Black fighting.
They had money on it too. Dude, it would be even better if they put him in on the con.
Yes.
Dude,
some creative writing, we can make this happen. But
it's gonna be sort of thing because like Diamonds Are Forever is fun. It's like fun Bond, but it's odd.
Yes.
We're gonna be real here. It's an odd movie.
Yeah, but Live and Let Die is a damn vibe. It's a whole damn vibe, dude. But
the whole 70s were for Bond.
Yes. Absolutely, because Moonraker was 70s as well. What else? Moonraker wasn't. I mean, Moonraker was already. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking like, yeah, wait, let me scratch that up.
You're like, I think 30 is going to have the most fun because he's going from. Well, he'll have Diamonds Are Forever, which is it's a weird movie. It's odd. And then you'll have Live and Let Die, which is fun. And then The Man with the Golden Gun, which is fun.
Yes.
And then you have The Spy Who Loved Me, which is a good movie, and it's a lot of submarines.
Which one was Christopher Lee and which one was Donald Pleasance? They both play the same character.
Donald Pleasance was in You Only Live Twice. He was the first Blowfield that you see on screen on like Fate.
Gotcha.
Then it was Telly Savalas, Charles Gray, and then
Christopher Lee was never one. He was just
Christopher Lee wasn't Blowfield. Christopher Lee was the Man with the Golden Gun, Scaramanga. He is, so he's the adversary in The Man with the Golden Gun. That is a great movie too.
Donald Pleasance, an American treasure. Shit, I love some damn Dr. Loomis. Yeah. That role is still just so damn badass. But anyways, what else you got? Where can we find you? If people want to find your insight on movies and stuff, where can people find you at, Mick?
Go check out the Scene Snobs. We have a podcast. You can check that. We got more than enough episodes with some pretty cool topics. You can Definitely check out. These fine gentlemen have been there for some of them. Go check it out there. Go check out the Scene Snobs channel. We have movie reviews for everything. Like we do classic, we do new stuff, we do in between, and we do more. And we have some fun stuff on there. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. And you can check out my writing on Letterboxd and Substack.
Yeah, well, everybody just give Mick a round of applause and stuff. Just a great job as always and stuff. And well, you can clap for yourself too. Hell, I clap for me and stuff all the damn time. Hey, it all starts with self-love, man. You gotta love yourself.
As soon as we get up this camera, I'm be loving. Never mind.
I want to remake this. I want to remake these 3 movies with you two.
That's fine.
I'd definitely be down.
Yeah.
As long as you're down and stuff to help me co-write Black Dynamite 2. Here's a Black Dynamite. I got ideas, dude.
Oh my God. Dude, you should do those movies.
Those are fun. Black Dynamite.
So fun. Oh, they're so fun. Just thank you for having me. I really, truly appreciate it. It's been a good time.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. We'll see you again. I'll be calling on you again to see us again next month. Because I'm only bi-weekly. I'm not doing weekly yet because that's too much for me. It's coming though. It's coming. Weekly's gonna be coming soon. It'll be soon, but I'm just kind of putting my toe in and just like just getting my little wave going first.
Feeling it out.
Yes. But I like it so far. But anyways, it's always a pleasure, Mick, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And where can we find you? Where can we find you, Sir Sturdy?
Well, this Saturday over on Popcorn and Pints, where we'll be discussing as Mick was just saying, as we were just discussing the Bond films. So we'll be over there at 9:00 Eastern time, and then every Thursday at 8:00 Eastern time. As a matter of fact, next Thursday we're going to be talking about Ghost Watch, which should be our
Ghost
final.
Dad.
No, not Ghost Dad, Ghost Watch. No Cosby over there.
Okay.
No, but which will be ending our found footage February, and then we'll be diving into in March. We're doing Women's Month, so we're gonna be doing what are the movies? Underworld versus the Resident Evil franchise, and doing 1 verse 1, 2 verse 2, and so on and so forth till we get through all the movies. That'll start in March. I think it's gonna end in April. But that's gonna be a fun time. That's gonna be a fun time. I've seen Underworld before. I've never seen the Resident Evil movies. Honestly, I'm not really looking forward to it. It's like, all right, let me rephrase.
If you love the Resident Evil video game story, the movies will piss you off. Some of the movies can be entertaining. The first one is not entertaining. The ones when you introduce Mike Epps are not that bad. But outside of that,
exactly what my brother told me, because he's like a diehard. Like, I love the games too, but he's like a diehard. He played through every single one of them.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it'll piss you off.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we're gonna do it anyway. Again, it's just it's one of those ones that I'm not excited to see, but I kind of wanted to see. But once you hear that, and it's like it's based off this game, you enjoy the game. It's like, but so we'll see what happens with it.
Okay, good stuff. And then for Live and Let Die, let's work on something because I got my other stuff I got to do on Saturday, but let's work out where you can give me like 20 minutes, maybe I can hop in and stuff and hop in for your Live and Let Die piece.
That show's earlier. That show's at 9 my time.
It is at 9? Okay, well,
9 p.m. Eastern.
So that's 8? Oh, man, hell, I'll be on shit. That's all you need to say.
Watch them. I say watch them both and just come for the ride. Have a good time with us, man. Love to have you over there.
I can do that. But I'm going to be okay. Well, you're here to hear, folks. I'm going to be on Popcorn and Pikes to talk about some Bond movies, and then I'm going to be doing my DJ skit on TikTok. You can follow that at Troy Talks Movies, and then my next 2 movie reviews will be for Car Wash and The Wiz, and I'm going to try and throw in the new Captain America movie, because my whole thing now is that I'm not trying to do all these movie reviews and stuff quick and try and have all this stuff and try and compete with like all these guys that don't have anything else to do but watch movies. Because I got a job and stuff, so you'll get some of these new movie reviews when they happen. I'm not stressing myself out no more. So
you got to do what you can.
I'm just
still do it for the love, but do what you can, and
Yeah, but I can throw Captain America and stuff under African American cinema and stuff, So that's what I want to do. So he'll be part of that category. So yes, I'll be doing new movies still. I'm still gonna be covering African American cinema, preferably classic cinema, and I do have a playlist for that on my page. So you can go ahead and check that out. But that's what I'll be doing this week. Like to thank each and every one of you for being a part of the show. And and for commenting along and stuff and interacting with us during the show and stuff. That's very, very nice of you. We certainly appreciate that. And find any words of encouragement or anything else you would like to share with the people this evening, Sir Sturdy.
Enjoy life. Take time to enjoy life. I say take time to, if you can, do something that you love to do. And I'll even say, to make it easier, do something that you love to do from home, so you don't have to spend the extra money on it, and try to do that at least once a week. It's very good for your mental health, and with a lot of craziness going on around the world, it's good. And honestly, I'll even say, just for a positive thing, even if you're going through some great stuff, it's still good to kind of have your little escape from reality for a little bit. It could be a book, it could be a movie, it could be a show, it could be a game, whatever it is you're into, crocheting, whatever it is you're into. But I just say something that is home, just because I don't know how everybody's finances are. I know all of us can afford to do something at home. We can all afford that. So figure out what that hobby is of yours and pick that hobby up. If that hobby's playing video games, I don't care how childish people think it is, play it. It's not childish. It's great. Enjoy your inner child too. Enjoy your inner child, and you'll enjoy life a hell of a lot more.
Yep, absolutely. And I guess my final thing is and stuff, no matter how bad your day might be, always have the mindset to believe that tomorrow is always going to be better. I mean, that's the main thing. It's all about mindset, people. I mean, granted, we sometimes get in the way of ourselves. We become selfish and we sit there and think, well, I can't do this and I can't do that, which is a money thing or whatever the case may be. when there's other people might be not having, just worried about having a meal and stuff, you know, you're worried about
roof over their head.
you're worried. Some are worried that they can't keep Netflix for this, they'll lose Netflix for a couple of days and stuff. So
everybody's going through something, but
keep things in perspective. Keep things in perspective and be thankful for what you got, because I guarantee you, no matter what, there's always going to be somebody else that's going to be worse off than you. So unless you're Charlie Brown, because Charlie Brown's the worst and he has the worst out of everybody. So
he has a point.
Because out of all the Charlie Browniest people, you know, he's the Charlie Browniest.
Or a Cowboys fan. That could be rough too.
No comment. DC for life, all day, every day. And the famous words of Jimmy Johnson. How about them Cowboys? We'll holla. Take care.
I can't agree with that one. But I'll say this: peace. I had a great time.
We'll see you again, people.
Yes,
Have a great one. Take care.
Peace.